my Black Allied Health peeps. This is the second installment of my video for students. You might be wondering, why is she in the car all the time? Because I'm always working. I have a pretty decent commute to and from work, and then usually when I get home, it's kind of off to the races with my kids and getting them ready for, getting home and getting homework done and dinner and bath and bed. So I'm always on the go. But I'm going to bring this video to you, and today I want to talk about forming good study habits when you are in school. So for me, I might have said this before, but I thrive on being busy. Like, if I don't have enough to do, I'm going to procrastinate. And I worked 2 jobs while I was in PT school. While that was not recommended, but it helped me prioritize my time and to form good study habits, because I knew that because I had to work, I had to make sure I also got my studying in too. One of the things I would say is consistency is key. Whatever you do, be consistent with your study habits. If you know that you are more of a morning person, then make your study hours early in the morning before school. If you know you're more of a night owl, do your study hours more at nighttime. Try to make sure that you have a designated place that you study where you can focus on the things that you need to do. My favorite study place, this was back, when bookstores were more prevalent in the early 2000s. I would go to Barnes & Noble and I would just sit for hours. Like, my roommates and my friends could tell you, if you wanted to find me, if I wasn't working or if I wasn't in class, I was in Barnes & Noble studying. Because that was the only way I could concentrate, because I had to get out of my home environment that was familiar and comfortable for me and be somewhere where I could focus. Another thing, you need to find you a good study partner, somebody who is going to hold you accountable, somebody that is dependable, and you guys can set up your own time to study. And it doesn't have to be every day. If you have a designated time and day during the week, you guys can get together during that time. I formed a good bond with some of the ladies in my class, and we would often get together over somebody's apartment and just have like a study powwow for a few hours. And that really, really helped me. I'm a very visual person. So for me, I needed to draw pictures. I needed to see diagrams of things to kind of connect the dots. Flashcards helped me a lot, like especially with anatomy and phys stuff, with trying to remember origins and insertions and things of that nature. So that really, really helped me to get concepts down, making flashcards and making my own flashcards. And I also bought some that I found on the internet somewhere at the time. In regards to studying for your boards, now I know things are probably different. Like I said, I graduated from PT school 20 years ago, so things may be different. But I remember purchasing the book that they recommended for studying for the boards. And I remember after I graduated from PT school, I took a month off to study. So I quit one of my part-time jobs, and I kept my therapy check job at the hospital for the weekend. So what I would do is I treated studying like a full-time job. Every day during the week, I would go to the bookstore. I started whenever the bookstore opened, which I think usually it opened around 9 o'clock. And then I was there for 8 hours. And then I went home. On the weekends, I worked my shifts at the hospital. And then I started all over again the next week. And I did this for a month before my boards. And I really think that helped me. to just stay consistent, because, I don't know if you're like me, at that time, when you barely making it, you're not really making a real income because you're not really in your career yet. I only had one shot to pass these boards, and I already had a job lined up that was contingent on me passing the boards. So it was a lot of pressure. And so I wanted to make sure that I formed good study habits to really be successful. Another thing, I advise you to find a mentor. I really believe that a good mentor, and it could be somebody in the profession that you're going into, whether it's speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy. I was fortunate that working at the hospital as a tech, I came in contact with some brilliant PTs. And when I mean brilliant, they were amazing. Shout out to the hospital formerly known as Florida Hospital in Orlando. I don't remember the name of it now. They changed the name since I left. But when I tell you I worked with some amazing therapists, I did. And I think having a lot of that practical knowledge from being exposed to different things that they exposed me to and their different backgrounds, because the beautiful thing about it was that a lot of the therapists there were from different, there were a lot of different nationalities, so there was a tremendous amount of knowledge collectively there. And so they were I consider all of them my mentors, and that really helped me, I believe, with the boards, because a lot of the boards is very practical. At least then, the knowledge that you had to know to pass was very practical. Also, just try to find a life outside of studying. One of the things I regret about my undergrad experience is that I did not party. I was in my books all the time. I mean, I went out occasionally, but my goal was to graduate early so I could go ahead and get to PT school, because I didn't want to waste too much time. But when I did get to PT school, and the great thing about it is that you're with the same people every day, so you get to form some bonds and make some friendships. And I was able to enjoy that time outside of the classroom. We even had our own flag football team, even though we sucked, but we had fun doing it. And I tried to make time for some of my friends that weren't in PT school with me. I had a lot of friends that I went to high school with that were also at the school I attended at the time, so I made a lot of time for them, and I also worked. So I feel like I had a good balance when I was in grad school. Even though it was stressful, even though there was a lot of pressure, I still was able to have a life and be successful as a student when I was in PT school. So those are my study habit that's my study habit advice. And if you have any comments about my study habits and some things that may have helped you in undergrad, please feel free to email me. I am available at sypurdy-porter@gmail.com. So that's sypurdy-porter@gmail.com. Thank you.